Hi everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with a review. And what we're going to be reviewing is another option for a glass mat, and these are made by GlassBoard Studio.com. So I'll have the link for everything down below, and stay tuned because I will have a discount code for you. So this was sent to me. I was contacted by GlassBoard Studio, and they had sent me one of their glass mats for me to review and to play with. And I have to admit, I really did enjoy this. So they have many options, many sizes. There are other glass mats out there, but again, this is just another alternative. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you the many ways that I have been working with this glass mat, just to see what I can do, what I can't do, what works, what doesn't work, and so forth. So what I'm going to do is just read some information from the website. This is tempered glass. It is 1/4 of an inch thick. It is very smooth. You can write on it. You can clean it with household supplies, alcohol, that rubbing alcohol or water. Don't submerge the mat, and I'll get into that in a little bit. You can see the items that we're going to play with. We're going to do some stenciling, some dye inks, some oxides, perfect pearls, watercolors in pen form, liquid form, and of course alcohol markers. What's very unique about this mat is it can either come just as the plain glass mat, or you have an option to get it magnetized, and that would be the entire board is magnetized. And that's the reason why we can't submerge this mat when we want to clean it, so only surface cleaning. The magnets are available individually, and you can get them in either sets of 2 or 8, and in many colors. Now these are the rare earth magnets. They are very strong, as you saw, so you get your the finger in between those, it's gonna hurt. Just saying. Yep, ask me. Now, even though your entire mat is magnetized, your dies will not stick to it. You can see that I was sliding that around, but they will stick to those earth magnets. So to remove, whether you get the 2 magnets stuck together or onto one of your dies, don't pull away. With a rare earth magnet, you want to slide it away from it or the item that's stuck to it. Always go in a sliding mechanism like I just showed. Now, one of the things that I was concerned with, since the entire board is magnetized, is our stamp positioning tools, because the rare earth magnets are usually part of those as well. Now, here, because I was testing it, of course, when you have your magnet in there, there is no problem. It does not stick down onto that mat. You'll feel a very slight tug, but nothing major. It will stick to your board. It is easily removed, and again, we usually always have those connectors for our magnets, or we wrap our tape around them, and there is no difficulty in removing that magnet from your board. So I thought that was awesome. So the other thing that I was curious about is when we stencil. Again, we kind of become contortionists when it comes to our crafting and working on our mats, whether we are stenciling, whether we're ink blending, whether we're watercolor, or doing all of these different things that we do. So let's start with an alcohol marker. I'm going to draw right on this board. I'm going to have fun. I'm even going to say hello. So if you like your alcohol inks, wouldn't it be great to put these alcohol inks right on this board? Do some ink smushing with those alcohol inks. I guess that would be alcohol smushing. Have fun with it. You can do it right on this board. Grab your Yupo paper or whatever paper you use, pick it up, and you can have fun with it. You can also drop your inks right onto that paper and let that flow right down onto the board, and cleaning it is a snap. I just have a spray bottle filled with rubbing alcohol, sprayed that down onto my board, and I'm going to come in with just a regular paper towel from my kitchen, and boom, it cleans up. It didn't stain, and I did this with blues, purples, reds, those difficult colors, whether they're difficult to blend or difficult to clean up. And there is no ghosting, there is no staining on this. Let's move on to stenciling. So again, we become that contortionist. Come on, you know what I'm saying. We're holding down a stencil, or we use that spray, that pixie spray, which is wonderful, but then it's on our stencils. So storing them can become unique. We have to come up with wonderful ways to store them. But again, this kind of can help with that. So I've taken my stencil, a piece of cardstock. I have it on 2 corners. Now, when you put your ink pads down on this board, since it is glass, they will slide around. I have one of these rubber stoppers. I know Tim Holtz has them, and I found these at my grocery store where I can just put my ink pad down on that and it does not move. I grabbed one of my ink blending brushes, and you can see I'm using one hand. My second hand, I'm actually keeping it away, putting it behind my back, because my habit is to come in with my hand to hold that stencil down. You can see my hand is creeping up to the main part of that brush because I'm adding pressure, and this is not moving. Now, if you add complete pressure, I mean, you really get into that, yes, this is going to shift. It's going to move. But I was able to add a lot of pressure, and you can see all of that wonderful color that I was able to get down onto my cardstock. I'm going to come in to some more and just add even more color. Now again, I did do this with a blending brush for the purpose of this video. I have used our traditional ink blending tools with the sponges, and I did have similar results. Now again, you add a lot of pressure and this will move, but those magnets really do help and secure that stencil right on top of your cardstock. And you can see the beautiful image that I've got there. Now again, these mats come in various sizes, so let's go back into that. So you can get a 9 by 12. It's available in a 13.5 by 18. These are inches that I'm saying. 18 by 24, which is the size that they had sent to me, or 24 by 36 if you're looking for that mahumba of a glass mat. And again, it is your choice if you want it magnetized or not. All right, so that is your choice. These mats do start out at $39.99 and go up from there. So here you can see I took some dye ink and I put that right down onto the mat. I added a little bit of water and I did some ink smushing. Now remember, if you do your ink smushing on a glass mat, you're going to get a slightly different effect than if you use a silicone mat. A silicone mat will give you a blotchy, a splattered look, where on a glass will give you a watercolor look. Doesn't mean you can't just pull in a silicone if that's the look that you're looking for. So I did that with dye inks. Now let's do it with our oxides. Again, adding just a little bit of water and adding my inks down onto that, just slopping around and picking that up. I probably should have picked a darker color, but I really wanted to try the patina. Yes! New color, love it. And again, cleanup is very easy. Here is what I really enjoyed. This is the first thing that I really found enjoyable. And here I'm going to come in with the silicone, so you'll be able to watch that as I go. My first thing that I really enjoyed was, again, as crafters, we become contortionists. We've got to, when we're doing our watercoloring, you know, and especially when we're videoing, we've got to make sure that that's in the screen, and sometimes we can't do that. Here, I can put my watercolors right down on this board. Don't have to worry about it. Everything is there. I don't have to grab a separate palette. I don't have to grab a separate tool going on over here. I don't have to grab a scratch pad down onto here. Everything can be done directly onto this mat. Now here what I'm showing you, if you have one of these silicones that you can get from Amazon, And this is a silicone mat. It doesn't have to be that heavy set one like I used before. If you just wipe it, just gently wipe it, you're going to create a static cling onto the glass, which will then keep that mat in place. So you can see when I first put it down, it does slide. But if you just gently rub it as you're holding it down, it'll eventually secure itself into place. So that was just something that I realized as I was playing around with the mat. So you can create that static cling to hold that type of mat in place. The second thing that I really enjoyed and found extremely beneficial is the fact that you can get this magnetized. Okay, those magnets are super strong, and they do hold items in place. Maybe you do like to have that piece of paper down as you're doing something. Those magnets are sure going to do that. And I only worked with 2. They do come in sets of 2 or sets of 8. That would be your choice, but it is, again, an option, and they are available individually. So here I pulled in my silicone mat. And again, this mat has like a plastic on the other side, so it will automatically stick right down onto that mat. And that's the type of ink smushing that you would get off of a silicone mat. So you get more blotches and dots, the best way that I can explain it, than what you would on a glass. So you'll get 2 different things. So I found that was an item that, yes, I would have to bring in. But again, very universal. I'm still cleaning it, easily to roll up and set it aside. The other thing that I like to do is create my snowstorms. That's what I refer to them as. But again, as I create my snowstorms, I love splatters, and I do splatters in multiple colors. I can get this right set up onto the mat. I don't have to pull out another palette. I don't have to pull out a silicone mat. I don't have to pull out an acrylic block or whatever it is that I'm looking for. It's right here in front of me. So I have my white that I use for my snowstorm. I have some perfect pearls that I'm going to put down, and I'm going to add water to that. I have some watercolors there up in the corner, and again, I'm able to just go directly onto my mat and get them ready and get them all set up. Of course, I'm going to have problems closing up the perfect pearls lid because that's what I do. Okay, so a little bit of entertainment for you to giggle at. So again, just by having this, I don't have to worry about, okay, I've got to pull this in, I've got to pull this in, I've got to have this surface so that I can clean this up, or I have to have this so that I can do that. I don't have to worry if I get ink on this because, again, all I have to do is just wipe that away. By adding a little bit of water to this, I'm able to come directly in and just pick up all of these items and go to town. I can put my liquid watercolors down and first paint my image. So I'm just going to real quick do a watercolor flower here just to show you that I can have multiple colors here and all being right in front of me when it comes to this. I have my other brush sitting there ready to go to add those splatters. The other thing that I really enjoy, and this is the third item that I was extremely curious about. So there are, again, this is just another alternative to a glass mat. There are other companies that are out there that have theirs. One of the things, though, that I saw with the other ones that were not black is they have a green tint. It's not a pure white. And you really do want that, especially if you are getting into your paints or even your alcohol inks, your ink blending when you're doing your ink smushing so that you can see the true color that you're working with. This mat is a true white mat. There is no green tint to it. It is pure white. You can see that you have a grid, and that grid is done in gray. So in the main part, it's by 1/4 inches. And then along the sides, you will see the 1/8 of an inch tick marks. So you can use this to measure your pieces, to see what they measure, and so forth. You can see I'm just picking up my brushes and creating those splatters, and it's all sitting right there in front of me, and I can clean it in one swipe. So I did find that working with this did save time. I mean, we're always looking to save some time when it comes to our creations, which is yet another plus. Now, for these the glass mats, not only do they come in multiple sizes, you can choose, again, whether it's magnetized or not. They also come in different colors. So, as I said, I'm showing you the true white. That is the one that they sent to me. It also comes in a aqua glass. It also comes in the true white with floral prints diagonally in the upper left and the bottom right. It also comes with beautiful succulents, again in the upper left hand corner and the bottom right, so it's only hitting on 2 corners when it comes to the designs. And then it also will come with a black. So you do have those choices as well. And of course the black mat will have white marks when it comes to that. So again, you have many options when it comes to this mat. When it comes, to the choices that you would want to make. Now, there's one more thing that I'm going to show you, because again, we have so many different things in our arsenal for paper crafting, and one of those things are the liquid watercolor brush markers. I'm a huge fan of those, but I'm also one that I like to have some control, so to speak, when it comes to that. So what I'm about to show you is that if these are the watercolor mediums that you have, this mat will actually work out with that as well. So again, I like to, when it comes to these mediums, or to these watercolor brushes, is to put my color down on a palette. Don't get me wrong, I will, if I'm using a large area and I want a lot of color, yes, I will go directly to that paper and just have fun with them to create those backgrounds. But when I'm working with a floral or an image, I've just got to have that control, so I can take these colors and go directly down onto this mat and pick it up with my brush and just have fun using them that way as well. So these types of mats, these glass mats, help us take what we have and stretch them out to work with them in different ways. So many opportunities, many ways that this can be used in your crafting. I hope I gave you some ideas. I hope I answered all of your questions, but as always, if you have any other questions, make sure you leave those down below. And if I don't know the answer, I will make sure I get that answer for you as always. Now, the best part, if you're looking to know more information, I encourage you to go to their website, and I have a discount code for you. So by doing this, they gave me a discount code that I can pass on to all of you. You'll see it on the screen, and pretty soon I'll be pointing at it. There you go. If you use that code, you will receive 20% off of your purchase. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. But again, any questions, leave those down below. All links down below. Enjoy your day, smile, but most of all, always remember, be creative. Till next time, take care.